Happy New Year, everybody. This is Daniel Harkavy, Executive Coach and CEO of Building Champions. And I hope that you are coming back into your offices and your businesses refreshed and focused and ready for what we hope for you to be a fantastic year. I'm very much looking forward to today's call. I'm going to be speaking to you about change and some of the mindset behind change, some of the brain science behind change, and then equipping you with some tools and some specific best practices to help you to change, which for us means to grow so that you can be continually improving, because we absolutely believe at Building Champions that each and every one of us were designed to grow. And if you believe that, then what you have to understand is that growing means changing. We've got to be people who not just deal with change or tolerate change. We have to be people that embrace change, and we actually look forward to it, because we have a belief that tomorrow we can become better than who we are today. And all of this ties to how we lead. So my assumption is that each and every one of you on today's call, you're on today's call because you want to improve how you business plan. You want to see better results in the year ahead. And I'm going to be talking to you specifically about how to do that. I know that many of you have been on our webinars or our current or past clients, and you have become very familiar with how we operate. But there's some of you who this might be your first call, and this might be your first introduction to Building Champions. So I want to explain to you a process that really connects all of our coaches together. And for many of you who have been clients, you'll understand how today's topic connects to the Core 4. But at Building Champions, we're a performance, leadership, and executive coaching company. We coach business leaders one-to-one. We coach them one-to-many. And just about everything we do is either connected to the Core 4 or an offshoot of the Core 4. So I want to explain it to you so that you understand how today's topic fits. Most people will come to us because they want to see improved results in their business or their life. And what they believe is they need knowledge, they need skills, they need disciplines, so that they can make better decisions. And what they want to do is they want to reorient their calendar so that it is filled with more of the right activities. Each and every one of you have the same problem in that there is more work for you to do each and every day than there are hours for you to do it. And what's going to help you to define your success in the year ahead, what's going to help you to take your business to the next level, is that you're going to be more skilled at saying no to the good things so that you can say yes to the great things. So in the bottom right-hand screen, you see priority management. That's where most people want to start. But in our Core 4 process, that's where we finish. Because we can't help you to really clearly understand your priorities and then improve your decision-making so that your calendars are filled with more of the right activities until we're clear on your business plan. And we believe that every individual in an organization needs to have their one-page simple business plan. That business plan, which I'm going to be explaining later, will help you to understand what you're responsible for. It will walk you through a process to understand what your high payoff activities are. It will help you to understand how to improve how you execute, but it has no power unless it's connected to a long-term business vision. And that's that second element of the Core 4 up in the right hand. That vision is the beginning of strategy. And what we believe at Building Champions is that your business vision, it's got to be clear and compelling. It needs to create a gap from your current reality to a future state. And when you read that vision, it's got to get you excited. It's got to compel you, and it's got to cause you to want to change. If you can't see a better tomorrow than you do today, then there's no reason to change. If there's not something that you're excited about between now and 2020, if you can't clearly see it, then you're not going to be excited about changing. Your business vision, though, and your business plan and your priority management are all going to be birthed out of how you lead yourself. And at Building Champions, we walk everybody through life planning because we believe self-leadership always precedes team leadership. So there are a few things that are absolutely critical for leaders to really improve. And what it's all about is how you view change. So the first thing that I want you to consider in looking at improving is, why should you change? What's at stake? You know, a lot of people want to change because they see somebody else in their business doing something, getting better results. And they're looking for some sort of a silver bullet. And a lot of times people get in trouble because they try to change too many things and they don't count the cost. What happens is they've not really done the deeper kind of mind and heart work required in order for you to effectively grow and change. So some questions you need to ask yourself. Why should you change? You should be crystal clear on it. You should write down, what happens if you don't? What happens if you do? You've got to see that there is a high level of pain or risk in the future if you don't, or there's tremendous opportunity if you do. Another way of saying that is, what's the problem that needs to be solved, or what's the opportunity that needs to be captured? Why does this matter? And listen, if you have to make significant change, if there's an area of your business or even your life where you need to make some significant change, then there has to be tremendous meaning and tremendous gain connected on the other side. If you cannot clearly articulate why you should change and why it's going to be better, should you make the change, you're not going to do the difficult, uncertain work required in order for you to close the gap from current reality to that future state. So the first thing we've got to be crystal clear on is, why should we change? When we're clear on why we should change, there's some other things that kind of fall into this why bucket. You know, they're head and heart type things. You've got to believe you can change. In order for you to really change, you've got to believe you've got a shot at it. Without some level of belief in your ability to change, you will not put forth what's required. You will not engage all of your faculties to make the change, and you will continue to do what you've been doing. You will stay in your comfy habits. You know, under belief, you need to fight the demons. You need to understand, what is it that's holding you back? What limiting beliefs are telling you that you can't make the change? You know, I love to ask everybody that I have an opportunity to work with, people who put together great vision or people who want to increase their vision because they believe that there's a greater opportunity for them to make a bigger difference. I will always ask people, why not you? What are the limiting beliefs that hold you back? So often, we don't believe we can make change. We don't believe we can accomplish more because of experiences that took place in our past that we have really no control over. And the truth of the matter is, there's opportunity for each and every one of us today to improve what it is that we do, to improve our thinking, to augment or increase our beliefs so that we can make a greater difference. But we have got to believe we can make change if we're going to effectively grow and change. So here's a little tip on belief. Who can you see doing what it is that you want to do? Who can you see or observe that is more disciplined with how they run their business? They're better utilizing an assistant. They're more effective at how they build culture. They're more effective in how they sell and how they partner. They're more effective in how they build strategy. They're more effective in how they communicate. Who can you go watch? I know each and every one of you are familiar with the whole Bannister theory, and where Roger Bannister, the first one to break the 4-minute mile, he accomplished a feat that nobody thought could be done, and then right after he did it, all sorts of people broke that record. Well, I've seen that happen in my own life. The moment that I saw one of my friends and business partners, Todd Duncan, writing a book, and I've shared this with many of you, the moment that I sat in a hotel suite working on The Power to Be Your Best more than a decade ago with him, the moment I helped him with that chapter, that was the moment where I believed, I made that conscious decision and believed I could write a book too. And that was huge, absolutely huge. So who can you see that's doing what it is that you want to do. They've embraced the change. They're further along than you are, because if you could just spend a day with them, if you could spend an hour with them, if you could understand how they do it, it would increase your own belief meter. Something else under the why that we need to be thinking about is we need to be thinking about our own mindset on failure. So often people will not engage in the activities that will lead to a better tomorrow. They won't make change because they're afraid of failure. And they see failure as defining. I think last year I led one of these webinars, and I think I talked about mindset. I've talked about it many times, and there is a real difference in how top performers think in comparison to the rest of those in business. Top performers in business, in athletics, in academics, top performers see failure as not defining, but it is necessary in order for continued improvement. How do you see failure? Is it an acceptable part of your learning process, or is it terminal? Does failure define you? You know, something I've done for years and I like to share with people is really go through the exercise of examining what's the worst case. Should you set out to make the change, what's the worst case? If you set a big, hairy, audacious goal, you know, you say that you're going to grow your revenue to 100 million, you're going to grow your business to impacting 10,000, you're going to become not just national, but the global marketplace leader, and you don't quite hit it, you come in second place or third place. The truth of the matter is who you will become in the future, organizationally and as a leader, will be far greater because you took the risk, you engaged, and you moved forward. So what's the worst case? Well, you know, the worst case is that you don't succeed as much as you thought you would. Go through that exercise, and I promise you, what's the worst case? Once you go through it, you will see logically how the risk of failure is minimal and the consequences are not even anything that should have weight in how you embrace change. Because failure, it's a teaching, it's a learning, it's an adjusting, and it's a required step in order for you to pursue a better version of you and better outcomes. So we've got to look at why should we change. Once we've looked at why we should change, we've talked about beliefs, we've talked about how we view failure, we then need to move into how should we change. And under how we should change, there's a few things that are required there. Under how we should change is, you know, we should be looking at knowledge. What knowledge do I need in order to effectively grow and change? Once I'm clear on that knowledge, where do I get it? And if I'm not the one who needs to get it, who on my team needs to get it? Oftentimes we won't make change because we don't know how to make the change. But the truth of the matter, today, more so than ever before in our past, knowledge is at the tips of our fingers. You can get educated. You can capture the insights, the know-how on just about any topic. So don't allow lack of knowledge to hold you back. Oftentimes people will say, I don't have time to get that knowledge. Well, that's why being connected to that long-term vision and seeing that a better outcome and being clear on why change is so essential, because it's got to be so compelling for us, the why, that it will cause us to reprioritize our days and put a bit more into gaining that knowledge, some of that difficult work, so that we are best equipped to grow. So what do you need to learn? Who can teach you? Who on the team needs to learn? After we've worked on the knowledge required so that we can make the change, then we need to look at what are the tools. Do you have the tools that you need? If you don't have the tools, and I'm talking about systems, I'm talking about process, I'm talking about all of the essential tools that will enable you to move forward. If you don't have them, where can you get them? Who can you get them from? You know, oftentimes people will allow the fact that they've got an old, out-of-date version, they don't have the technology, they don't have the brochure, they don't have the collateral, whatever it may be, to enable them to grow. And I will say, well, then make that a priority. And what tools do you need in order for you to grow and to change for the better? And if you don't have them now, who do you know that can get them? Where can you get them? Once we've worked a bit on the how, then let's start working on the what that's required in order for us to change. So You know, I think that this is where we're going to really start to get into business planning, and I'm going to just give you that little teaser. I'll come back to business planning in detail in the moments ahead, but I would ask you, what clear steps are required in order for you to move from where you're at to where you want to go? And this is more project-oriented. So when I say clear steps on what you need to be doing, oftentimes people won't make change because they have not clearly identified which projects are most important to them. And then they haven't broken those projects down into bite-sized steps. They're not clear on what steps are required in order for them to move from current reality to future state. So under clear steps, under the what, you've got to have the steps scheduled. You have to have time scheduled in order for you to move forward with a project. How many hours are going to be required in order for you to move to the first gate, which is maybe the testing of the idea, and then to the second gate, which is running a pilot, and then the third gate, which is adjusting and reviewing, and then the fourth gate, which is to for example, revamp the marketing collateral based upon what you've learned and the training process based upon what you've learned. And then finally, to the launch, which is where you want to go in order to make the change. So most individuals can improve that process, and I call that clear steps. The next is our clear disciplines. And I want you to understand the steps have to do with project work. That has to do with time scheduled for you to think, to execute, to collaborate. The disciplines have to do with you and truly your high payoff activities. So if you want to change, you've got to be crystal clear on what disciplines match the leader, the sales professional, the manager that you want to become. Not the disciplines today that you're already good at, but what are the disciplines that you need to embrace and master in order for you to be who you want to become some point in the future. And those disciplines have got to be truly the most high payoff disciplines. These are going to be repeatable behaviors. They have to do with maybe connecting with your direct reports in a coaching relationship with them one time a month. Disciplines could be with making 5 calls to clients each and every day. Disciplines could be 2 hours of thinking time 3 mornings a week. These disciplines are truly the highest payoff disciplines for you in your role. And as we're looking at change, these disciplines should be a stretch for you. These are not what you're currently doing. These should be the disciplines that are going to be required in order for you to become the leader, the professional, the manager that you want to become in the days, weeks, or years ahead. They've got to be so specific that you could schedule them, and at the end of the day, you can look at your day and say, did I pass? Did I fail? Not just kind of done. I'll talk about that more as I unpack the one-page plan in the moments ahead. Under the what systems or methods do you have in order to stay focused on the change? Our partner, Dr. Henry Cloud, says that we need to have a system to keep us focused on what's important. We need to have working memory in order for us to perform at peak levels. So how will you stay focused on the steps to execute and the disciplines to repeat? Well, what's required is not only do you need a system of review so that you're continually focused on it, the next thing you need is accountability. So who do you have on your team that understands the reason, the why behind the change? They understand what your beliefs are. They understand how you're going to amass the knowledge, the tools. They understand what steps you're going to take. They understand how you want to fill your calendar with these disciplines. They understand how you want to stay focused on what's required in order for you to make the change. Who on your team knows you that well and is that vested in your success that they can help you? You need to have somebody on your team that's encouraging you to move through the discomfort and the pain of change as fast as possible. And if you don't have somebody on your team, of course, we're a coaching company. This is what we do. We help top performers to improve how they do what they do, and we're continually working with people like you on their beliefs, their thinking, their knowledge, skills, and discipline so that they can make the changes that will enable them to more effectively lead and to live better lives, to run better organizations in the years ahead. There's somebody you need on your team that's exhorting you, encouraging you, and reminding you of what matters most and what's at stake, and encouraging you to go through that valley of discomfort and uncertainty, which we call change, so that you can grow into the leader that you want to become. All right, a bit behind change. Let's get into the specific tool, because I'm going to drive each and every one of you to action. And for some of you, this is a refresher, and for others, this is a first-timer. The simple one-page business plan, I believe, is one of the most effective tools to help individuals move through change. And here's why. I want you to build this plan for 1 year, for all of 2015. This works for you because you will have everything that's important to you in your role on one sheet of paper. And then once you've done it for 2015, I want you to do it for Q1, for the first quarter, because things are changing so quickly. I want you to be able to adjust every single 90 days so that you're focused on the stuff that's fresh, that it's relevant. I don't want you to build a plan for the entire year without the discipline of 90-day adjustments, because none of us know what's going to happen to your business, to technology, to the global economy. You don't know what's going to take place to certain of the essentials that are required in order for you to succeed in your role. So every 90 days you've got this discipline of reviewing it. It works because it takes care of the system for you focusing on what matters most. So the three components to it, of that one-page business plan, I'm going to bring that back up, and I just want to walk you through it real quickly. The first are those outcomes, those goals. What are the outcomes or goals you have for the year? They need to be really measurable. They need to be specific. They need to be something that you can measure. Okay, it might be revenue, it might be market share, it might be margin, it might be speed of service, it might be customer satisfaction rating, it might be team level engagement scores. You need to figure out that for your business, for your team, for your role. But you need to have the ability to affect that goal or that outcome. The middle of the one-page business plan, those non-negotiable disciplines, as I said earlier, those need to be the disciplines that the person you want to change into, the person you want to grow into, they would fill their day with those non-negotiable disciplines. Those are truly the high payoff non-negotiable disciplines. You'll see 6 spokes. I'm telling you there are no more than 3 to 6 non-negotiable disciplines that are truly the most high payoff for you. And if you make them non-negotiable and you do them regardless of how you feel, if you do them because they are the most important things in your day, you have the highest probability of growing and enjoying even more success in the quarters or years ahead than you would if you just react and respond to how you feel or to the crisis or opportunities of the day. Oftentimes people say, well, what's that big circle for? And I say that's the creative space for you. What is the one word or the one sentence that's going to be kind of your mantra for the quarter, your mantra for the year? It's going to keep you focused on why you should make the change. And maybe, right in the middle of that wheel, the word for you is going to be simplicity. Maybe the word for you is going to be clarity. Maybe the word for you is going to be impact. Or maybe there's going to be a sentence, and the sentence is going to be develop them so they can lead. Maybe the sentence is going to be make a greater difference. There's got to be something that's meaningful to you, and you're looking at it because you're going to be looking at this one-page business plan weekly, if not daily, as you're moving from current state to future state. You've got to remind yourself and be clear on what matters most. Once you've got those non-negotiable disciplines down, you've got that big word down, you've got your outcomes and goals up on the top, then it's project time. What are the improvements or the projects that are one-timers? You've got to implement the new system. You need to launch the new marketing strategy. You've got to deploy the new product. There is a project that you're going to work on because it's going to enable you to become more of the leader, your team, more of the team, a better version of how you guys are operating in the future. And what's critical for you is to identify, once you've listed the 1, 2, 3 projects down for the year or for the quarter, and you've identified the target dates, listen to me on this. You've got to count the cost, and you've got to do the backwards work, which is how many hours are truly going to be required in order for you to move through those steps that I talked about earlier from current state to completion. And those need to be scheduled. You need to have scheduled on or execution time so that you can get your projects done. Don't hope that you're going to get it done by March 15th and then cram on March 14th and do a C-level job on executing what matters most. If it's really important, then do the important work of figuring out how you're going to get it done, when you're going to get it done. All right? So, why it works? It keeps you focused on what matters most. How it works? You take from that one-page plan, you communicate with your assistant if you've got one, the rest of your team if you've got one, you schedule from it, you adjust it, you do it every 90 days. What's required in order for you to make it work? It can't be a one-time thing. You can't build it and then not look at it and expect it to work and to help you to go through the steps of change. What's required in order for you to make it work is a committed discipline of reviewing it daily for at least 30, 60 days so that you know it, and then no less than weekly. You've got to make sure that your calendar is matching up to your plan if you want to grow and become that leader, that professional that you want to become. What's required in order for it to work? It's got to connect to the why behind the change. And that why behind the change, as I said earlier, it's got to have pull power. It's got to be so compelling that it moves you from your current level of success, your current level of growth, your current level of impact to where it is that you see and believe you can go. So let me tell you how to move from here to there. You can download the Simple Business Plan, and we'll give you the address in the moments ahead so you can download it. You can contact us. We've got all sorts of resources on our blog sites, on past webinars. We've got many different coaching offerings. We've got the one-to-one, the one-to-many. We're here to help you to continually grow and improve how you're doing what you're doing. You know, some of you who have been clients of ours, maybe in past years, how we can help you is by you just having a conversation with us to learn how we've added to our menu of offerings, because today we're working with clients in some even more effective ways than we were, say, 10 or 15 years ago. So take a look at the resources that we've got today. On that note, I'm really excited to announce that in this quarter ahead, we're going to be launching a retreat with Dr. Henry Cloud. And for those of you who have been around Building Champions for the past few years, you know we're doing a lot more with Dr. Henry Cloud. This guy is just a brilliant executive coach. He's got the whole clinical background as well as the business background, and he's very well esteemed in the leadership arena. His book he wrote last year, Boundaries for Leaders, has made a significant difference in the lives of many of our clients, as well as has integrity. But Henry and Building Champions is launching an exclusive leadership event. It's going to be March 10th through the 12th in Marina del Rey. You can go to Elevate Summit 2015 for more information or to register. You can also call us and we'll explain how the couple days are going to work together. But I tell you, it's going to be a pretty amazing 2 days for those of you in high-level leadership roles where you really want to improve how you think, how you lead, and then how you do the business of leading your organizations. All right. If you want more information, info@buildingchampions.com. You can follow us on Facebook, not only us, but also myself at Daniel Harkavy on Facebook, and then Twitter. That's how you can reach out to us, as well as our office number, which is 503-670-1013. We're always here to serve you, and my hope is that today I helped you with a little bit of the thinking and the belief behind change. My hope is that you have a better understanding of how this simple one-page plan can help you to move from where you're at to where you want to be. Yes, it requires discipline, but I tell you, this process has helped leaders of massive or global organizations as well as solopreneurs who have no teams. It has helped them to fill their days with more of the right activities. It has helped them to execute on what matters most, and it has helped them to get even greater success and better results in their businesses. So that's what we're here about. We want to help you to change for the better. If you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out. and we're here to serve you. I've got 2 minutes left on the call, and if there are any questions for people, I would love to see that panel. And if any of you have any questions for me, I would welcome you to just go ahead and let me know what you've got. So let's expand that. People want to know how to link. Yeah, so yeah, we'll send you guys an email out with the link for that one-page PDF. I am very sorry for the earlier technology glitch. We will be more than happy to help you. We'll be more than happy to share the PowerPoint slide deck with you. So yes, we'll do that. Do I recommend getting your spouse involved with the life planning process? Cynthia, I absolutely do. I think each of you need to do the life plan on your own, and then you can compare life plans. Don't do your first life plan together. Do yours on your own. How do you ensure your 90-day plans keep you focused on the long-term goals? Any tips? Jason, what you want to do is you want to be reviewing your vision every single week. And when you're putting your plans together, you want to put your plans together for 2015 so that they're moving you from where you're at to that long-term vision. Oftentimes people fail in business planning because they don't connect their business plans to the longer-term vision. That's why that vision is so essential. Some of you got questions about the Elevate Summit site. We'll go ahead and we'll include that in the email out, so you'll just be able to click on that. Let's see. Let me just, what I recommend working with a couple of worksheets, one for, say, business goals and another for spiritual goals. Yeah, so Michael, I recommend that the business planning tool you use specifically for business, the life planning tool you use specifically for life, and that's where you'll start to get vision and purpose and actions for your life. And the business plan helps you to stay focused on the business. And let's see if there's a couple more. If we missed a portion of the webinar, yes, the webinar will be on our site. You'll be able to download it should you and your team want to go through it later. Do we have a sample of a one-page business plan? You see a blank version, but a completed version as example would be helpful. Thomas, let me see if we can't create something for you. You know, we've got a ton of our clients. We just can't share them, but we can probably put together a mock for you and get that out. Why don't you go to the very bottom and let me take one or two more if there are any others. All right, so now I've got Ken Shar, good friends with the Reeses. I'm glad you love building champions. I do too, and I love the Reeses. Thomas, you are very welcome. How do you download the business plan, Patrick? We're going to send you a link to that. All right, so Eric, you're starting business from scratch. Do the goals change? Is the process different? No, Eric, this is so important for you. Whenever you're starting a business, you have the nemesis of free time. And the battle and the angst comes from not knowing exactly what to do. This one-page plan, Eric, is going to be your best friend. You've got to have a clear vision that compels you and that keeps you on track. So I would definitely tell you to do 3B vision first. And then I would tell you to build the one-page plan quarter by quarter. It's critical. And then, Eric, I would tell you to connect the business plan to the perfect week time block. And each of these tools are available on our website. You can get all of them. We give them to you. And I would encourage you to do that. And if we can help you, just let us know. All right. Have I got? Slides are there. Let's go all the way to the bottom and just see if there's anything else, and then we're going to. Ken, it's good. Glad you're meeting with Greg. Kelly, thank you so very much. Nice to see your name there. Well, listen, all of you, I hope the call was valuable. I hope the webinar helps you. We're here to serve you. I do believe that each and every one of you can improve your thinking, your beliefs, your actions, your calendar, and the results you get in your business and your life. And if we can help you, you just reach out. Thanks. We'll talk to you in the month ahead.